History is often told with excitement, drama, and intensity, but tonight, let us tell it in the opposite way, a calm, steady, and perhaps slightly boring way. Because sometimes, history, when spoken softly, can help the mind drift into rest. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and let the slow march of time carry you into sleep. Our story begins thousands of years ago, not with great battles, not with loud kings and queens, but with something much simpler, the slow building of civilization. Imagine the first farmers, patiently planting seeds in the soil of Mesopotamia. The rivers of the Tigris and Euphrates flowed gently, season after season. People learned step by step how to grow barley, wheat, and dates. It was not fast, it was not sudden, but gradual. A steady rhythm, just like you're breathing now. Day by day, harvest after harvest, villages turned into towns, and towns into cities. In Egypt, the Nile River quietly flooded every year. Farmers waited, year after year, for the same cycle to return. They built small canals, dug ditches, and placed stones to guide the water. Over centuries, stone by stone, the pyramids rose. Not quickly, but very, very slowly. A block placed in the morning, another in the afternoon, repeated thousands of times, until a great triangle of stone touched the sky. The workers must have been tired, but also steady, following the same routine every day. Far away in China, the Great Wall stretched across the land, not in one year, not in one lifetime, but over many dynasties. Each emperor added a section, and then another, and then another. A soldier stood watch night after night, looking out across the hills. Often, nothing happened. Just silence, just waiting, just time slowly passing. Imagine standing there, hearing the wind against the stones and the sound of your own footsteps on the ground. Centuries rolled by. In Greece, philosophers sat quietly under olive trees. Socrates asked questions, not quickly, but slowly. His students listened, thought, and answered. Plato wrote his dialogues carefully, one line at a time. History remembers their ideas, but in the moment, it was simply quiet talk on warm afternoons when the city was calm. In Rome, aqueducts carried water across the land. Day by day, the water moved, never rushing, always steady. People filled jars, bathed and cooked meals. Generations lived and died, while the stones of the aqueducts stood firm. Life was not always war and conquest. Much of it was simply waiting, working, repeating, and continuing. As time passed into the Middle Ages, castles were built, but they were not built quickly. They rose slowly, brick by brick, wall by wall. Farmers plowed fields outside, oxen moved slowly across the earth, and bells in monasteries rang at regular hours, calling monks to prayer. The monks copied books by hand, letter after letter, page after page, in candlelight. It was slow, careful, and repetitive. And yet this quiet patience preserved knowledge for the future. Then came the age of exploration. Ships crossed the oceans, not in a single day, but after weeks, months, and sometimes years. The waves rocked slowly, endlessly, beneath wooden decks. Sailors listened to the wind, watched the stars, and passed the time with quiet conversations. The journeys were long, sometimes uneventful, sometimes dull. But those long stretches of waiting, of calm seas and endless horizons, were also part of history. In the modern era, factories hummed, machines turned, gears rotated, and trains rolled steadily along their tracks. The rhythm of history became mechanical, a slow, repetitive sound, clocks ticking, wheels turning, engines puffing steam, and people went about their daily lives. Not every moment was revolutionary. Most of history, in fact, has been ordinary. Waiting in lines, cooking meals, walking slowly down streets, or writing letters by hand. So, as you listen now, remember, history is not only about kings and queens, or great battles and discoveries. Most of it is slow. Most of it is quiet. And most of it, perhaps, is a little boring. But in that boring history, there is peace. There is repetition. There is calm. Close your eyes and think of the Nile flooding gently, year after year. Imagine a Roman aqueduct, carrying water in silence. Picture monks writing words by candlelight, their hands moving slowly across parchment. Let these images drift in your mind, as softly as the passing centuries. History is long, time is endless, and tonight, you can rest in its slow embrace. Sleep peacefully as the story of humanity continues, quietly, one calm moment after another.